Good evening and welcome back here. We're back here for our Food for Thought segment, sports betting top plays and picks for Saturday, January 25th. We're doing the NHL, the National Hockey League Association picks and plays. We gave it a few picks earlier this afternoon. We're going to do the rest of the games. This is the evening slate. First off, we're going to start off with Montreal and New Jersey. This game here opened up at 5.5. The total is 5.5. New Jersey is favored. So it's still at 5.5. If you're wondering where we're getting our everything from, oddslogic.com. Oddslogic.com provides in-depth look at totals, sides, money line, spreads for all sports, NBA, college basketball, hockey, all sports you can think of. It's oddslogic.com and the latest injury, just in case you guys are interested to know. So in this game here, New Jersey, Montreal, look at this one here. Head-to-head, 7-3, 6-4 to the over. They played November 7th in New Jersey. The total is 5.5. That's right. The total at that time was 6.5. Jersey won 5-3 in that game. You look right now against other opposition. New Jersey 3-4-2-1 last 10, 2-8 to the under. Jersey's 1-4 last 5 games, and are 3-2 and 3 to the under. Montreal 7-2 last 10 games, 4-5-1 to the under. 3-2 last 5 games, and Montreal is, let's see, the last 5, 2-2-1. So they're kind of even. This game here, I look at the over 6. I look at over 6 goals. If you can get at 5.5, even better. I would bet the over in this game. Montreal's playing some high-scoring games as of late in their last 6 outings, and I feel with their offensive firepower that they have right now, I would definitely bet the over in this game, over 5.5. So I like the over here. And you can even look at, if you want, I was going to see team total for Montreal team total. I would look at over 2.5 goals. That's another good look. Over 2.5 goals team total for Montreal. So over 5.5 for the game, and team total over 2.5. That's my play for that game. Just in case you're worried about New Jersey not scoring goals, I would do that. Next game we're going to look at, Dallas at St. Louis. The total here is 5.5. That's the total right now. And Dallas is favored in St. Louis. So this game here, we're seeing head-to-head 6-4. 2-8, 6-4 Dallas, 2-8 to the under. Last game, December 14th last month in Dallas. The total was 6, and it was under. It was 2-1, went under the total. Since then, last 10 games, Dallas 6-4 against other opposition, 3-7 to the under. St. Louis last 10 games, 5-5, 4-2 over under even. So on the Dallas side, let's see here, one moment. On the Dallas side, we see in their games 2-3 last 5, and the last 5 here 2-3 to the under. That's Dallas. So the Dallas has been an under team for sure. St. Louis 5-5, 4-4-2. They're even. Last 5 for them. 1-2-2 to the under. The only way I can look in this game, I have to look at the under in this game. Under 5.5 goals. That's the only way I can look. It's gonna be, to me, it's gonna be a repeat of the last game, the last meeting that they had last month in December. A low-scoring game. Very low scoring. We're well under the total. So I see a repeat of that happening again for this game. So I would take under 5.5 goals. Dallas and St. Louis. Next game, LA at Columbus. This game here is, the total is at 5.5, 6, depending where you shop. LA favored in this game, surprisingly. They did play November 9th in LA. That was the last meeting. That was earlier last year, early in the season. Total was 6.5. It was 5-2 LA. They won at home. Los Angeles, since then, last 9, 7-2-1 last 9 games. 4-6 to the under. So this is LA's on a 7-game road trip. So right now they are 1-3 on the road trip. So they desperately need a win, so they can avoid going on a skid. They had a 2-game skid on the road trip earlier, but then they won in Toronto. I'm sorry, looking at the wrong thing. Sorry about that. I looked at the wrong one. We're looking at Los Angeles. My apologies. LA 2-3 last 5, and then 4-1 to the over last 5. So, so I for this game, and then we talked about Columbus already, how they're 1-4 to the under. They used to be an over team, putting in goals, but they've slowed down lately. The last game they picked it up, but now I see they're back at home briefly for a brief home game. And I don't like to take teams. I like to fade teams coming off a road trip, as you know from my previous videos. So, in a case like this, I see why why LA is favored in this game. I can see why. I understand why. I would play in this game. I would play the puck line. Puck line plus 1.5. I lean that way. It's not a strong play, but I would lean puck line plus 1.5 Columbus. I would lean. That's probably a lean for me. That's as far as I'm going to go, but I'm not going to play it, just to lean it. If you wanted my recommendation for the game or my opinion for the game. Next game, Calgary at Minnesota. The total's 5.5. That's the total right now. Minnesota favored. Let's see. If you look at the last 5 games, head-to-head, excuse me. November 23rd, 2024, they played. That was last year, early in the season, actually, in Calgary. Total was 5.5. It went over the total. Calgary actually won that game. They won at home, 4-3 in a shootout. Since then, last 10 games, 6-4, Calgary, and 3-7 to the under. 3-2 last 5, and 2-3 to the under. Minnesota, 5-5 last 10, 5-5 over under. 1-4 last 5 games, 2-3 to the under. This game here, both teams are trending to the under. So in a situation like this, I'm going to have to go with the under 5.5 goals. I like the under here. Under 5.5. I know it went over the last time, but I think this time this game stays under. It's a different outcome in Minnesota. I like the under here, under 5.5. Next game, Carolina at the Islanders. What's the next game here? Carolina Islanders. Total 5.5. Carolina favored. Head-to-head 6-4. Carolina has the advantage, 5-5 over under. They played twice already. December 7th in Long Island, New York. Total was 6. Islanders won 4-3. In the rematch, December 17th at Carolina. Total was 5.5. Carolina won 4-0. The third meeting is back in New York for tonight. Carolina 7-2-1 last 10 games against other opposition. They've won 4 in a row. Carolina. They're on the road. They won 2 on the road at Chicago and Dallas, and they won 2 at home. Islanders 6-4 last 10, 2-8 to the under. Islanders have won 3 straight games at home, 3 straight unders. I'm going to take this game. I'm going to take the Islanders in this game. Islanders, I like the Islanders here. And the Islanders are starting to play some defense too. They're playing defense. I know the previous meeting between these two teams, Carolina and the Islanders, it's in Long Island. It went over, but I feel this game is gonna. I feel this game here. I think Islanders win their. Let's see here. Carolina's actually favored heavily in this game. I'm gonna go to the under 5.5 goals. I like the under here. Under 5.5 goals, Carolina and the Islanders. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Islanders have done this in 3 straight games with 3 straight wins, and at home, they're building a lot of confidence. And I think this game will be one of those type of playoff atmosphere games, from what I'm seeing. Next game. Toronto at Ottawa. This game's in Ottawa. Total 5.5. Let's see, 5.5. Ottawa's favored. Yeah, they're favored in this game. They played November 12th last year in Toronto. The total was 6. That was the total, and it was 3-0 Toronto. They won that. Actually, sorry, 3-0 Ottawa. Ottawa's won that game. Since then, 6-4 the Leafs last 10 games, 5-5 over under. Leafs are 3-2 last 5 over under. They're 4-1 the last 5 for the over. Actually, 3-2 to the over last 5 games. Ottawa 5-3-2 last 10, 1-9 to the under. Ottawa's lost 2 straight games, and they're 1-4 to the under. I'm going to look for this game here. I'm going to look at the under for this game. Under 5.5 goals, Leafs and Ottawa. I like the under here as well. The last game went under. The Leafs are trending to the under, in my opinion. 3-2 to the over last 5. I still think they're trending to the under. Ottawa, 3 unders in a row on the road. I think they're playing defense, but they're hardly scoring. They're hardly scoring any goals. If you want, you can look. Because Ottawa, the last 3 games, are barely getting 2 goals. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll stay to the under. I was going to tell you a team total, but I'm not going to bother the team total. I just bet under in this game, 5.5. I'll take the under here. Next game, Nashville Anaheim. Total is at 6. That's the over-under at 6, and Nashville is favored. Nashville have won 5 straight games, and they are 4-1 to the over. All 5 of their wins for them at home, 1 of them on the road. So 4-1 to the over. Anaheim 3-5-1-1. Last 10 games 3-5-2 to the under. Anaheim 1-4 to the under, and 2-2-1 the last 5 games. Let's see. First time we're playing each other this year. This one's a pass. I have no play on this game. This is a complete pass. No play on the game whatsoever. I'm gonna pass on this one. Next game, Washington at Vancouver. Total 5.5. Washington, I believe, is favored. Let's see. Yeah, Washington's favored. They did play about 2 weeks ago in Washington. And it was 2-1, and the game was under 5.5 goals. The head-to-head 7-3 Washington has dominated, 4-6 to the under. Let's see this one here. Yeah, this one here, I would lean to the under 5.5 goals. I can see the same thing happening again. Another low-scoring game because both teams are trending to the under. Washington 2-8 to the under. They've won 8 straight games and 2-8 to the under. Last 5 games 1-4 to the under. Vancouver, they've lost 2 straight. They're 1-4, and they are 3-2 to the over. But I think I believe Washington's style of play and the way that they've won 8 straight games, and their style of play will influence and have an impact on how Vancouver plays. So they're going to dictate the pace, and when you dictate the pace like they did 2 weeks ago in Washington, it'll stay under the total because their defense has been traveling. The defense has been traveling and doing well in Seattle, Edmonton, Ottawa, and Nashville. So I expect the same thing here when they're in Vancouver, that this game's going to stay under the total based on their defense and based on their low scoring, holding their opponents in check and holding them to low scoring goals. So I like the under 5.5 goals. I like that one. That's probably one of my top plays. That one. And Jersey Montreal. Those are the top 2 plays. Jersey Montreal over 5.5, 6, and I like Washington Vancouver under 5.5 goals. Last game on the board, Florida at San Jose. This one is. We'll get to this one here. Along with this game here. Okay, one moment. Total is at 6. Florida is favored. Head-to-head, Florida has beaten San Jose 10 straight times, including last month they won in Florida 3-1, under 6.5 goals. This one is in San Jose this time. Florida 4-6. They're on a 4-game road trip. They're 1-1 on the road trip. Last 5, 2-3 to the under. San Jose. They have lost 5 in a row, and they have gone 3-2 of the last 5 games to the over. This could be a look-ahead spot for Florida. I'm not going to bet this game, but this might be a look-ahead spot. So I wouldn't. The best thing I would do, I would advise you, just bet the under 6.5 goals. That's it. That's the best advice I can give you. I'm not going to play this game, but if you wanted a recommendation, I would take under 6.5 goals, and Florida to win on the puck line by 2 goals, over 1.5 goals. Florida. That's the best. That's the best bet to play. I'm not going to get there, but that's what I would recommend you to do. Okay, so that's all for the hockey. This is all the picks I've done. Again, my top 2 plays for hockey: over 5.5 goals, New Jersey, Montreal, and under 5.5 goals, Washington, Vancouver. So that's it. Thank you for tuning in. Best of luck to you guys. Whether you fade or follow, it's up to you. I just look at the games, make my decisions, and pick what I feel is correct. It's up to you to fade or follow. Good luck to you guys. Hope you cash your tickets. Stay true to yourself. Believe in yourself. Be humble. Stay strong. Peace. See you tomorrow.